Good morning. Day 3. We all slept good and we all woke up really early right along the John Day River here. We're just tearing down camp. It's a little oasis in a barren wasteland.
Day 3 was as much a mystery as the first 2, and as we took off down the trail with no particular endpoint, we anxiously chatted amongst ourselves, optimistic of the things to come.
So we just came up this really cool trail. Literally, it hasn't been driven for a long time. It's all overgrown.
We're right in the area where the Oregon Trail used to be, so I'd like to pretend it was actually Ragged Road. I'm sure it's not, but we're right in the exact area where they think the Oregon Trail went through. There's not much of a road, if you can see it. More looks like we're just driving in the fields here. Our journey had brought us over 300 miles since we left Oregon City. We decided to change things up a bit. In lieu of going to a physical destination, we'd try and hit 120 miles for the day and see where the trail led us. It was something different, but that's what this trip was all about, trying to iron out our process and figure out the best way to do things.
That is elk.
Got some bucks there too.
See the ones coming off from the bottom of the hill up to meet them?
We got about 1.5 miles, 2 miles up maybe. Just what seemed to be an elk, and it dead ends, and we were on the map. It was showing that it was going to connect to our route, and it didn't. So we're turning around. It's kind of crazy though. That's just how it goes. Figuring out, you map something on Google Maps and all that,
Wagon Road, Mitch.
and it doesn't go through, and it's just part of the game. We got to figure out how to reroute ourselves now. And anyway, awesome view though.
In 1852, Cecilia Adams traveled down the Oregon Trail with her family. At just 23 years old, few know the hardship this young pioneer endured, but her spirit and persistence is the reason why we still talk about her well over 100 years later.
Oregon Trail site, Echo Meadows. Cecilia Adams wrote this part. We traveled down 3 miles to the Indian Agency, the first framed house that we have seen since we left the Mo River, and they have actually got a stoned up well. We left 2 of our wagons there, and we sold 3 cattle to some traders and put all the teams to Stefan's wagon. Our loads are light, but our cattle are getting powerfully weak, and we think it best to favor them. An Indian here has some flour for sale. A white man has some corn, which he sells at the rate of 6 pint cupfuls for $1, and it sells fast. We traveled on about 5 miles after crossing the river. The road was very sandy, the heaviest I have seen for so long a distance. We camped on the open prairie. No water. There are 70 graves since leaving Fort Boise. Again, Cecilia Adams and Parthenia Blank in 1852. Crazy to come across some of those written testimonies of people that traveled it, knowing that they came right through here, knowing that a lot of how they survived, not being Indians obviously, was trading stuff for food at times and then hunting when they could. I kind of imagine that the hunting was a lot better back then, buffalo and all that kind of stuff, and at the same time it could have been very difficult because their guns and bows weren't like ours today. But pretty cool out here. Sweet little landmark.
Much of the day was spent in a tug of war with our planned route, and to be honest, it was getting the best of us. Troy took the reins on navigation and led us to a jeep trail that was deceivingly steep. That's the thing about the trail, what lies around the corner is anything but predictable, and this turn brought us to the most challenging section of the day's trek. hundreds of miles of bouncing and shaking, issues tend to present themselves at the most inopportune moments. Cauxby was having trouble with his four-wheel drive engaging and couldn't quite make it to the top of the hill. So we pulled up alongside him and decided to test out our Spartan kinetic rope. The guys from Spartan were cool enough to let us field test it, and it was definitely worth its weight. As we slowly descended the backside of the hill, the unused trail started to disappear before us. We stopped at a tattered cattle barn and searched the area for any sign of our path. Back on the trail, we found ourselves forging through the finest dust we've ever encountered. The consistency of cooking flour was not only deceptively deep, but impossible to keep from getting into every nook and cranny imaginable.
So we finally just got out of this crazy sand pit, about 100, maybe probably 200 yards back. You can see that sand trail right there. It's not even sand, we just call it sand because like this white powdery dirt that's super thick, as you can see. It's all over my truck. Anyway, so we used the Spartan rope again. Jay pulled me out, my four-wheel drive kicked in before we left, so I was able to go. But then we're just driving and all the sand, the dirt is kicked up behind Jason, so we're literally blind. You can't see anything. And Jason goes, slight left, slight right, turn to the right, turn to the left. And I can't lie, it was kind of freaky, not because I thought of like, oh, we're gonna get hurt or anything, but when you're blind, it's just like, it's the unknown. It's just like, holy crap. And so then there's a little road right here that cuts off to the left. He ended up going up to the left, and but he said go left, I didn't hear him, and I ended up straight on this gnarly embankment. But we're good to go, and we got to get out of this shithole area right now.
We were not only losing daylight, but energy and motivation as well, so we pushed hard to get out of this dust and find a spot to camp for the night. We're pushing, I guess, 150, 160 miles today, and towards the end, we just hit some gnarly trail. And to be honest, it's taken it out of me. I was exhausted anyways today, but I'm a little more exhausted now for sure. So it's like moon dust, this sand that's out here. And several times we're trouncing back and forth in it, and you can't see anything. It's like huge, big old cloud of dust behind you. So we had to separate, and then our CB went down. And so we had no comms, we didn't know where they were, so we had to walk back and figure that all out. But now we're back on the trail. Yeah, unfortunately, we're way back in the hills, and so we right now are heading down a road that's hasn't been traveled on in a long time and trying to get to a highway. That's what's going on. I guess this is what it's all about, but it's exhausting, so yeah. We traveled just under 200 miles for the day, well over our 120-mile target, but with all the rerouting and pavement along the way, we more than likely broke even on this exchange. We were all exhausted and more than ready for some food and rest, but unfortunately not before hitting one more bump along the road.
I was just coming around Mitch and sidewalled a rock, and it just busted off my valve stem.
Burns, can you find me a rock behind his
tomorrow we're going to have to go and have them fix it up. But this is why you bring spares, even if they're not in the greatest condition, because this stuff happens on the trail. So, kind of sucks, but hey, it's been a challenging day all around.
Today was long. It is 7:40. We were just setting up camp here.
It was just at every turn we were running into something that was kind of holding us back, whether it be closed fences or You know, tons of rerouting for sure.
I'm exhausted. I think the guys are exhausted.
Epic day. I mean, just an absolute legendary day. I mean, we had turnarounds, we had reroutes, we had people getting stuck, we had pop tire. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
You know, you could kind of see morale just kind of go down for a second, and we're just like, hey, we got to get through this. You know, this is what this is all about, preparing for the Oregon Trail itself.
I gotta say I'm 3 days in and I'm pretty exhausted. So 40 days sounds like a long time from where I'm standing right now, but we do this because we love it and it's our passion. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
The goal is to make his nipple go in my ear and create a fart noise. So buff. Come on. Yes, I told you. I told you we could do it. Oh man.
That's weird.